Oh, you sit down. We forgot to go. So sit down.
Here, I'll scooch over to here and you can. Whatever.
We still got nobody.
All right, no, we got Adam, we got Bill,
Oh,
Ashley,
some coming back.
Seashell, Clint. Okay, glad you guys are here.
Yes, thank you for waiting.
So I had to restart it. It was an issue with my software, I guess.
Sorry for the temporary commercial interruption. And no, you're not seeing things. We actually switch spots.
Yep.
All right. So we got 5 back in here.
Good, good.
Let me start another post so I can go back to my Facebook in case anybody wants to see it again.
I can't tell you this how much I didn't realize how much I missed stuff like this until I got here. Became ignorant again.
Last we cut the course here.
Yay.
And the cabin that I'm staying in is great. The hospitality is above and beyond anything I would have expected.
The little cabin is really quite comfortable.
Yep.
As much as I did get
Phyllis, that's not nice.
What did she say?
She
I
said
can't-
Sarah's better looking.
because I'm on this side now, right?
Phyllis is sweet. Phyllis is sweet.
You know what? Compared to me, yeah, that's it. I can make
Thank
anybody
you,
look
though.
great.
Mhm.
There we go.
So,
I mean, both of them have been absolutely phenomenal. I am actually going to be envious of the first couple or people that come up here to do an actual stay, as far as like doing the guided Airbnb or what have you. They, being a Vermonter and growing up in cabins and hunting cabins and so forth,
right.
the person that's never experienced this is going to be like glorious for them. And the view out that window of that cabin of Denali when it's
It's
clear day
Absolutely.
is insane.
It's breathtaking.
I made comment.
So it's just bumped.
Our
Just-
cameraman over here, the dog,
Right.
bumping the laptop, but I made a comment today that a great oil painter could paint that view and sell it for more money than
He hears something. He's
He does.
staring
He's
off into
staring off
nothing.
he just got alerted.
Yeah, he just perked right up.
But it's a view that I can't capture with a camera. I can't explain until you're actually here. It's something that is one of those really rare things that you actually have to witness to
Yeah,
understand.
and different every day.
Yeah, every day is different.
Every day, different by the minute almost. Right now, it's just a big cloud.
And just a quick one.
You can't
I
even
should be
tell.
able to do this. Robert probably does it on a regular basis, but this is our view right now.
Don't mind this.
We
After we
took the
dropped,
trees
there's a bunch of
down.
trees over here we took out.
They were
And
pretty
since we took
rotten.
them out, we get blinded up here on the porch now. So we had to put a line up there with a sheet on to block the sun.
It's one thing to
When-
see our faces and talk. It's a wholly different scenario when you get to see the view that these people get to see every day.
Oh.
Let me show you one of the things she was doing over here.
That
See if
is
you can
great.
guess spot what we added, Robert. What did we add to it?
Oh yeah, I see it. They're not gonna be able to see that. That's the tree that John fell away from the house for us because it's like literally like 30 feet from the house. But now it looks like a face and it's got something hanging out of its mouth. I don't know if you guys can see it. He's got a pipe.
Growing a new branch.
He's got a pipe hanging out of his mouth.
Show my chair now.
Hey. Let's see the chair that he made.
It's really
I was
fun.
bored. One of the places that
So he carved it out of a section of that tree.
And it's really lovely.
Yep.
it fits her perfect.
It does. It does.
Bob Ross started painting in Fairbanks because of the scenery.
Mm.
JR says back up. Matt says, "Hey, my router just crashed. Rob, you gave me your problem somehow."
no.
Glad I could share.
Sorry.
Yes, you're one of the ones with a router and $10,000 of the router bits in the router's room.
Right. Bill says there's a sundial. No, it's actually it's got a face and it's kind of like a tiki, and I'll probably keep adding to it.
And I put a mohawk on it.
Yeah, it's got a mohawk. Clint says, question: are wolves more active in winter or summer? I don't know. I see wolves in the wintertime. I see their tracks in the winter times, but in summertime,
We don't see
you don't
them,
see 'em.
So
I haven't been hearing them much.
Based on
the
my studies,
first-
they're more active in the winter.
Yeah, I think they are too.
They're
the-
too lazy in the summer. Too much food, too much to eat.
yeah, the first winter we were here, we heard them
Yeah, and
quite a bit.
and
And the
I seen 'em
rumor
last
was,
fall.
yeah, the rumor was that the packs were coming over from Denali because they're protected there and they're
overpopulated.
overpopulated. So we're getting the overflow. We're
Yep.
the suburbs to the Denali.
I just hope you don't get one of
Packs.
those Yellowstone wolves that you saw the photo
Oh
of.
God, we watched a video a couple nights ago of a
I-
massive wolf they found in Yellowstone.
Oh my.
From tip to tip, he took up a whole lane on the
Yeah,
road.
his nose was in the center line. His tail was off the road, and I was like, "That's
Wow.
that's got to be photoshopped." And we're like, "No, it's
Then
real."
it started moving, and it's like, oh, that's a
Wow.
big puppy.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yes, the chair is. Sarah finds the chair quite comfy.
It's quite good. Yes, it is. And it's cute as can be. And I've been thinking of one. It was really funny. I've been thinking we need at least a third chair. A fourth would be nice.
Yep.
There's not time to make it this trip. But
No, I'll work on some.
Yeah.
JR says it looks like most of the Starlink sats are over you are in standby mode.
Hmm.
Big track to the east and west are very active.
The big track is a long
Yeah.
series of them.
So they're probably waiting to get them into the proper alignment, and then they'll probably pop them on, which would be really nice.
Well, they're launching twice a week now down in Cape Canaveral.
Yeah, but they're not just
Right,
coming
but
here;
they're
they're
not-
going all
Yeah,
over the
yeah.
place.
Yeah.
Pretty soon, won't be able to see a night sky.
I know.
Yeah.
But we'll have internet.
Brun Free says, "Gosh, I mopped the floor, then lost you, but found you again. I'm glad you did."
Yes. Glad
Thank
you're
you for
back.
mopping.
Glad we're back.
Lisa says, "Oh, would love to photograph. So far, the ones here are very elusive. Yeah, they
Mhm.
are here too. I've only seen them twice, and that's it.
I have not seen a wolf. If we're talking about wolves,
Yep.
I have not seen a wolf here.
I hunted so much in New England, I stopped
Yeah.
hunting for food or sport. I would hunt with a camera.
Mm, mhm.
It's just a way of life, but everybody wanted to brag about the biggest buck they got, and the smaller doe was always better tasting. So if I didn't
Indeed.
need to hunt for food, I'd rather hunt with a camera.
Right? Let's see. Actually, Bob Ross was from Muncie, Indiana, near me. He did travel a lot, and I believe he spent some time in Florida as well. Yep.
I think I did in a video that you might have or post later something about a cute little tree. Look at that cute little tree over there. Doing a Bob Ross
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
impression.
Cute.
It's gonna
JR,
make a happy little tree.
JR says 955 birds are in standby, 3,889 total in orbit. Well, tell them to activate some of those ones over me.
Oh,
Get them in alignment.
Give me some coordinates.
Mm,
I bet you I can click one.
Brun says, Rob, how's Zeus doing? Zeus is doing good.
He's good.
He's been having a field day up here
We-
lately.
Yellow-eyed devil dog.
We did-
Zeus, you
we
hear
did-
that?
He looks like a devil dog.
Come here.
Brown and white.
Come, baby.
He just doesn't have the sweet cream filling.
There he
Yes,
is.
my buddy, my fat butt.
We did change the doorknob to the front door
Yeah, because he
because
opens it.
it's the lever.
Mm,
It was the lever, and he can go out, but he doesn't shut the door very well behind him,
No,
and
he lets the
he
skeeters
can't
in.
get in because the door shuts towards the inn, so he can't pull it. But we put a new knob on that's rounded. He can't work it. So
Yeah,
he
he's very
only-
upset. He can't just come out on the porch whenever he wants
He
to.
has
But,
to stay where we put him.
but he's getting a little right.
He says
It's
you
time for
stink.
the summer bath.
He says you stink.
The millennial bath.
A great looking dog. He's a good pup.
He is.
Yeah, childproof front door. Yeah.
hmm
And now he's, what are you doing, you goober?
Yes.
Everybody else up here tries to make a bear-proof front door.
We
And
have
these guys are
have a
trying to keep
dog.
the dog in.
It's- oh, the silly dog.
John, last guy get kicked out of the chat, but now I'm back. I'm lost.
Yay. Oh, no.
You're all right. You're here.
Yeah, you're here. Yeah, we were all lost for a little while.
Right.
It went out.
You went stupid
somewhere.
on us.
Yep.
Don't you love it when that happens on YouTube, where like the people you're watching just get up and walk away? You're like,
Right.
what did happen? Where'd they go?
Where'd they go?
I finally got a clear picture. Damn it!
Yeah. There's
Ashley
nobody-
says you need a doggy Wolverine door. No,
Oh,
no.
gosh, no. We
There's a
don't wanna-
cat door over in the other house.
Yes.
Nancy and Jim had cats. I don't want anything, something like that can get in. I don't want that Wolverine walking into my house.
Oh gosh, no.
I am the
They
Wolverine
are
door.
vicious. They are Sarsu.
Yeah. Zeus went over there. He's going to nap. He's mad at you guys now.
It's a great white shark with 4 legs and furry on land. That's what
Right.
Wolverine is
Yeah. Yeah.
Bad attitude.
Mhm.
constantly.
Mhm.
Yes, Clint, he's definitely a big old sweetie.
He is. He is.
Son's got his attention because he keeps looking
He's
up into the
spoiled.
woods.
He does.
So spoiled.
Yeah. He's
He-
spoiled.
When he hears a train, he gets kind of goofy. And
He
the
does.
creek's running right now, so he might be hearing the creek because
he
it kind
might
of does
be.
sound like the train a little bit from a distance.
Mhm.
When Rob and I come back from being in town, the dog goes absolutely berserk and
does.
whining and yelping and
Wailing
barking
and
for like
carrying on.
10 minutes. And 5 minutes later, he's sleeping. So go
Yeah.
figure.
His favorite activity.
Mhm.
He likes his naps.
My
Just like
Rocky
somebody
was
else
a
I know.
professional sleeper.
Yeah. Rocky makes his own doors.
I had an
Rocky.
old English bulldog that,
Oh my.
He's about twice the size of Zeus.
and one day he decided that there was something in the backyard, and I had a new gate on the dog door, and the whole door came off the hinges of the
Yeah.
house. He
Oh,
knocked
boy.
the whole door over.
And then he got kind of stuck in it.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
It was kind of around his head like this. And he's just like,
What is this?
Gray squirrels in Florida were always teasing him. One day he was walking out the dog door, and a gray squirrel was walking in, and
Oh, my.
it was game on. An hour later, I come home and I'm like, "Who got Rocky a new chew toy?" And oh my God, it's a squirrel!
Squirrel.
Give me that!
Oh,
Give me that!
yeah.
Give me that!
right.
Mhm.
Clint says, are the trees you cut down good for firewood or other uses? They're actually be used for whatever I want to use them for. But
Mhm.
right now I'm trying to stock up the wood sheds for the next couple of years so I can
Right.
take a little break from having to cut so much wood
Yeah.
and be able to take it easy on that side. But a lot of it's going to get milled down so I can make some boards.
The two out front, there are two clumps together.
Mhm.
So there's a clump with like 3
Leaders.
leaders and another with 2 or 3. I can't remember. I wasn't cutting.
Some of those were
But
bad.
They're pretty bad.
That's why they
but-
had to come down.
Yeah.
They were half punk dead, half up. So
Right,
I
but-
mean, the cores and roots were still good, but the tree was in a dangerous position shade wise.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's something that in wood terms we call a widowmaker.
Mm.
You don't know when it's going to go,
No.
and when it does go, there's a good chance somebody's going to get hurt.
Yep.
And or the house or buildings, and that's there's
But
a certain
it
fire
will
zone
burn.
buffer you want away from your property, and a certain amount of sunlight if you're charging on solar. That being an arborist, I prefer to heal a tree than fell one, to be honest with you. But in a scenario like this up here, there's trees that are detrimental to life.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
you
But
can
they will
blame.
burn.
Yeah. They'll
And I think the one that my chair is made out of may get used for lumber.
that
in-
parts of that they're
in
going to use for
way
lumber.
better
'Cause it's
I
very,
was about
it's
to
very
say, you're not
straight.
throwing that chair in the
Straight and-
fireplace, lady.
No, no, my God.
But that tree it probably had about 20 or 30 feet of straight lumber in it. So it's probably going to,
It's
part
gonna
of it's going to
be-
get milled down.
I about
it-
threw an elbow
And
out
you
carving
can
that
see
thing.
how
It
big
was-
around it is.
Yeah,
So you make a
that's-
big, nice, wide
Plank.
plank,
No, by the
And-
time you mill it down, it's probably going to be about 18 inches wide.
which is nice.
Well,
And,
Robert already
uh,
had me bring down 2 bridges worth, and
But that was already milled
and that
though.
was
That
already milled.
milled. Yeah.
We did get the bridges built.
We
It took
did.
us about 4 hours to build both bridges.
We got a pattern going, and it was just
Mhm.
easy.
Of course, it took
Unless I
days
told
to-
a joke and Robert was laughing.
Which
And
happened a
he
couple times.
tried to hit the same nail like 10 times and tell me, just shut up, dude. Shut up. We're not going to get through this.
We always have a good time when we're around one another.
And there are what are they 8 feet wide now?
They're 8 foot
8
wide
foot
by about
wide
20 to
by
23 foot. Each one's a little
20.
bit longer. One's
Mhm.
20 foot and one's 23 foot.
One
I
of
believe.
them-
Robert wanted one longer out there so he could use it as a diving board. The brook's this deep. I'm
Yeah,
like,
right.
yeah, you have fun with that.
The one you come down the hill and around a corner, and the wheels to the wheelers were right.
Yeah,
on
they're
the
about an
edge.
inch from going over the edge. When
Oh,
I dragged
the
the log splitter
I
up, it was
just shut
actually
my
half the
eyes.
tire was off the bridge on each side.
I wouldn't drive that
No.
bridge.
The more times
just shut
Robert
my
goes
eyes
over
and
it,
go.
the more comfortable he gets.
Yeah.
It's like he's
Oh,
almost
not
jumping
me.
the damn thing now.
Let's see. Brian asks, "What do you feed Zeus?" Zeus gets a combination of the cheap
Dog
Kirkland dog
chow.
food, and
Mhm.
he always gets a little bit of people food because he's a snob now. If he doesn't have
is. If he
human
doesn't
treats in
have
it, he
human
don't want to
treats, he
touch it.
doesn't want it. So he
Um,
gets meat nibbles.
yeah, he
and
gets a little bit of
vegetables.
nibbles. He's
He
a,
gets
he's,
some rice. That's good for tummies for dogs anyway.
he can be a finicky
So,
eater.
yeah.
If he don't see something from our plate going to his, he's not touching
He's
it,
not
and he'll look at
going
you.
there. Yeah.
Give you those eyes, and his eyes get like his pupils get like this big around. His eyes are like this big around. He's got that pathetic look. Brun says, "Boomer, come to Australia. I've got some huge gum trees by the creek. They're all calling your name. They need
Yes.
cutting."
Right.
JR says, "And some are not good for your Starlink dish." No, I've got a couple more I've got to
true, too.
drop.
That's true too.
Oh, I could spend another month here easily and build another cabin, have 10 cords of wood, and go through less than a gallon of gas doing it.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just my nature. You put a tool in my hand and I turn into the Tasmanian devil.
He does.
Just like when Robert brought out that grinder sawtooth.
Oh,
and
you
was
should.
using the
His
chair,
eyes
I
got
couldn't
big
stop.
like Zeus's when he's hungry. Ooh, this is
I
going to
could
be
not
fun.
stop. I was having way too much fun. I needed a face shield. I didn't have it. I needed ear protection. I wasn't using it. There was a bunch of safety gear I should have had on, but once I started using it, I'm like, this is just too much fun. I must be half beaver. I don't know. I had buck teeth when I was younger.
Mhm.
Bad.
Bill asks, "Do you watch the YouTube channel Guilty by Treason?" And it's Tree Son.
Oh, jeez.
Oh no,
No, never heard of him.
I haven't.
Tracks.
Now, the Massachusetts Arborists Association and a gentleman by the name of Ross McCree, who lives near or around Sudbury, Massachusetts, was my mentor. He taught me everything I have forgotten about doing tree work.
Right.
Half the stuff I do, if Ross saw on video, he'd be
Shaking his head. Yeah. JR says main Starlink tracks are north and south in your area. Yep, I've noticed that too.
Yeah.
Matt's talking to Bill about an email. "Hey, hippie explorer, how are you? There's a couple guys from New England that go out gold panning all the time and beekeepers." We watched some of their videos. I've watched a bunch of their videos. We've watched a couple of them.
I have a couple.
Hope you guys are doing good there, hippie explorer.
Yes.
He says he lives near Sudbury. You're in Bellrica. Okay.
I know Bellrica very.
Yep.
I've done more tree jobs in Bellrica than I can shake a stick at.
My cousin works at the jail there.
And we've actually, I think Ross used to have he'd rented some farmland in Bellrica that we would take the trees that we'd fell that they wanted removed, and he created when it was a rainy day, if we wanted work, we'd actually go split wood.
Yep.
And we'd leave all the logs there and season it, and he would deliver it by dump truck, not stacked, not neat. Here's the 2 cords. Give me the cash. I'll dump it in your front yard. You stack it.
Yep.
Mm.
Hey,
sold it cheaper.
Bill, do me a favor. Make sure you post Hippie Explorers YouTube channel. They're really good guys. Starlink SX, but it takes some compute power to watch.
Actually, I'm going to be up in that neck of the woods in a week or so. I'll be in Vermont. I just might go down to Sudbury to see Ross because he showed me a picture of a wild cherry burl that I got to figure out how I'm going to get that on check on luggage in the airplane. But it's a monster.
That's a big burl.
Oh,
And that's
dear.
wild cherry, isn't it?
Wild cherry, a burl this big around. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
To ship
boy.
it, that'd be a lot of money.
But you take a chance when you got bark on it. It's not dried. It's not cookied up or chunked up. You never know the figuring you're going to
No, you
get.
can't.
It's,
Yep.
it's like
It's a
opening
roll
up
of the
an
dice.
oyster, and you might get a pearl, and you might not. Who knows?
Yep. Sometimes you might get a white pearl. Sometimes you might get a pink pearl.
But if Ross took it down, I know it was on the hillside someplace. The size of it's been growing for years, and it's probably got some phenomenal figuring in it.
Yep. Hippie Explorer says, I've got bees in a couple of locations in Billerica.
Yep.
Nice.
In my neck of the woods down in Florida, I have a particular
Oh,
orange grove
yeah.
that the gentleman pollinates the orange trees with bees, and he has the most phenomenal. I'm a honey snob. I've had honey from all over the world, and the orange blossom honey that he has there is by far the best honey I've ever had on the planet.
I need to get some of theirs.
I'm always open to try.
Oh,
honey.
yeah.
I mean,
He said, the Explorer says, what are you going to do with the burl? Dry it.
Well, first I got to buy it. I mean, Ross doesn't give away burls like that.
No.
And if I can convince him to let it go, I got to figure a way to get it back to Vermont. I have friends in Vermont that have sawmills, kilns, lumber yards, and so forth. They can take care of it to the point where I can get it in pieces back to my wood shop, or send a big couple of chunks to Robert up here. Now that he has his wood lathe up here.
Yep.
That helps.
And we have a god awful amount of burls up here, Hippie
Do.
Explorer. Matter of fact, you're sitting on one right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's one there that we cut off a birch or spruce tree the other day. But
It's-
then I've
it's
got
not,
some. I got a picture of John and I out here on the very edge of the property. I'd probably say John and I, if we were reaching around it,
I put my
fingertip to
hand up. Put your
fingertip.
hand up. Put your hand up. It is just a hand up, down so they can see it. And the burl's this big, and you put your hand next to it, and the burl's this big on the tree.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's huge. It was our phones.
My phone, no big deal.
But now when he keeps wanting to cut it down and bring it over here and turn it into a mushroom over here on that
Yeah, I
one
want to
tree.
actually turn it and make a mushroom hat on the totem over here. That's my phone over here.
The spruce burls don't have as much
Movement.
movement and color or whatever,
Yeah.
but they make nice shaped tables.
Yep. That's what this is going to be.
It's
Or
gonna be
bowls.
Or
It's going to
both.
be an end table for my reading chair.
Yep. Bill asks from Alaska Loves Frontier Homestead, have you tried Alaskan honey? Actually, yes. I got a friend in Palmer that has a couple hives, and we were over there last fall, and he gave us a nice bottle of it. And unfortunately, I think I ate it all.
Well, I can tell you, I've seen bees all over the fireweed here.
Yeah.
And that would be an
Yes.
interesting
Yeah.
flavor.
And I don't know. Somebody's got to have a hive down in Chase because there's no hives up here and there's no wild bees here.
Well, there is a bee that is, I don't know what the hell that thing is. It's half bee, half bear. And every time it flies on this porch, I'm like, if Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear, holy crap. And it's about this big around and furry with
Yep.
wings. The cartoon, it shouldn't fly, but it
Yep.
does.
Hippie Explorer says cranberry honey is also good, but my favorite is knotweed honey. It's dark and delish.
No.
I have some hive near knotweed fields. Nice.
Huh.
Nice. I have not had cranberry honey since I left New England.
I don't
Um,
think I've ever had it.
Yeah, there's
I don't know.
oh
My dad used to bring home honey. Well, he would trade work with the farm machinery for honey and money as well. But he'd bring home the
honeycomb.
combs.
Yeah, I
That
bring
was the best.
my supplier
I
down
have
in
no idea what it was made of.
Florida with the orange blossom honey. I buy everything he has. I can buy a big, thick 6-inch wheel of beeswax.
Yep.
I can get
Mm.
raw honey straight out of the centrifuge. I can get. It's just too much fun and too tasty. It's just
yes.
Delicious.
It's good for everything. Everything from a cut, scratch, wound, bee sting, and toast and food, and never goes bad.
But my favorite thing is I like making mead.
Mm.
And I've got
Oh,
one bottle
yes.
left, and I've got to get some more honey to make another batch of mead. I need about
So you need a
about
bunch.
3 gallons for the next batch I want to make.
That's a lot.
Ashley says, do you have any diamond willow? Supposedly there's some in the area. I have one branch, but the diamonds were just starting to form. I really want to find more. It sounds like it started raining.
Yeah.
It did. It started raining. John, you sent that to us. Shame on you.
Mhm.
Bill says Alaska does have bumblebees type bees here, and I think that's what it is.
Probably not honeybees.
Yeah, this thing looked like it had a
Fuzzy
full winter
face.
coat.
He
though.
was big. Clint says it's funny how different honeys taste different due to location. Yes.
Mhm.
Yep.
Well,
Okay. Yeah.
he actually has hives that he'll bring to an open field with saw palmettos in it. And a very invasive plant in Florida right now is the Brazilian pepperbush. And he makes Brazilian pepperbush honey. He will bring bees hives out to an area that when they're in blossom, right before they berry, I don't care for that taste, but
Right.
saw palmetto honey, I don't really care for. But
Nah, it's all right. It's not my first. I'd rather the orange blossom or
when
like
you get the orange blossom, you don't even have to taste it. You smell it. You're like, holy
Yep.
wow.
Ashley says kind of like wine. Bill says very light rain here in Willow. Hippie Explorer says the bees here where I live are having a record-breaking season. They have already passed the best year total, and it's only half over. Very good.
Wow. Excellent.
Very, very good. Bill
Yes.
says yes. These bumblebees are really furry. Yeah, so it's got to be Alaskan
Right,
bumblebee.
Alaskan bumblebee.
Apparently, my cousin in Vermont who makes maple syrup had a pretty good record year
Yep.
too, making
Really?
syrup. Yeah,
Mm.
Did she get the business page back up yet?
I'm not sure yet. I have
Okay,
to look.
I won't promote it till I know.
She got hacked on Facebook.
Yeah, she
Oh,
bad.
dear.
They've got a beautiful farm up there in Vermont, and they make some amazing stuff. Once I know the
Some
page is back
good
up, I'll let you guys
jellies
know.
and-
Her jellies are amazing.
Really
she
good.
home makes everything, and they sell everything from packaged beef that they'll mail out to you, pork, to honey, to jams, to jellies,
Jams and jellies.
to
Maple
maple
syrup.
syrup.
Mm.
JR says, Darling Bird just connected to you. Yay.
Yay.
Hippie Explorer, lots of rain, but it stopped during the nectar flow. Worked out perfect. Yeah.
Oh,
Did
perfect.
you how bad did you get with did you get any of that flooding over there? Because I know like where he's from in Vermont, they had it bad, and where I'm from in New Hampshire, they had it bad pretty as well.
I'm actually worried about might not be able to drive to the cabin we rented in.
Is it still there?
It's
Okay.
still there. Just I saw so many videos of
Oh,
Route 9 and Route 4 washed out that it's got to be fixed by now, but who knows?
Yeah, well, you know how it goes.
Right.
I mean, hell, that one place after that one hurricane hit there a couple of years back, they didn't have a bridge going into town for almost 6 weeks.
wow.
Just down the road from us will be the longest standing covered bridge left in Vermont.
Yep.
280 feet or something like that.
Nice.
Goes over the West River. It's just beautiful up there too. But the only difference I can see, besides the size of the game that's up here, is one, how isolated Robert's place is. I mean, it's just you're out there. I mean, it's still a comfortable, safe distance from town if need be because of the Alaskan Railroad, the hurricane.
Mhm.
However, you're someplace special just getting here.
Yep.
The travel that you have to make up the hill, whether you're walking it or even on a 4-wheeler, you're like, if it's your first time, you're like, dang. You take that trip the first time and it takes forever. And then the more you do it, the quicker it gets.
Mhm.
Yep. Good night,
My
John.
first time up was walking. And I'll tell you,
Phyllis,
are
too.
we
Oh
on the
my
Denali
gosh.
Mountain? What the hell is going on?
Good night, John in Alaska. It was good to see you in here, my friend.
Yes.
Let me see.
Thanks for everybody showing up, especially putting up with the up and down
Yeah.
satellite.
Yeah, exactly.
So Hippie Explorer says we got bad flooding in Vermont and Maine, but not much in Mass. We are finally not in drought here for the first time in 5 years. Yeah.
Wow, that's good then.
Jer says for 1 minute was connected. It is now over the Arctic Ocean. It was moving. Yeah, I'd say it's moving.
Well, my Sifu of tree training, Ross, still does tree work in Massachusetts. So if he had a good, mild, wet spring and summer, he's probably busier than I won't say it. He's very busy.
Let's see. Bill says, wow, over 50 species of bumblebees, 22 varieties live in Alaska. Nice.
Smokes.
Didn't know that.
I didn't.
Yeah, we just find out where their nest is at.
Great. 22 other things that can kill me.
Right. Yeah, bumblebees are not honeybees.
Everybody's saying goodbye to
Right.
John.
My understanding, anyway.
Hippie
John Alaska or John me?
John in Alaska.
Okay.
Hippie Explorer says, I liked watching the train trip. Yeah, that was a
Oh,
fun
yes.
video to make. I'm gonna do another one probably here in the next couple weeks. I'll film it and I'll probably release it in the more time. I've been getting so much footage lately. It's crazy. Between
He's
my
stockpiling.
normal daily routines plus with John up here, you know,
And I brought my GoPro, so
yep. So we get different angles.
Mhm.
We'll be dumping all that in, and then over the wintertime I'll start making some videos for that because I've got a bunch of stuff I've already started editing out to come out for the pretty much probably till around November. I think I got videos for.
Good.
I just got to finish putting it together.
Mhm.
Everybody's still saying bye to John.
And once again, this is the time of year right now that I'm here is a totally different Alaska than one that I expected, and two, what you see on mass media
Yeah.
dramatized.
Very few of the shows show what it's like in the summertime
summer.
here.
Right.
Although one I think I've seen that shows summertime kind of stuff was Homestead Rescue, and that's only in a
Mhm.
limited area.
It just shocks me how much grows in such a short period of time,
Yeah.
and it turns into Jurassic Park. It's
It
crazy.
does.
And that's what
It
we call the
does,
valley
yeah.
down there,
Right.
Jurassic Park.
All along the stream where the trail is, that's sitting on the snow machine, or not the snow machine, on the wheeler. It's like right here.
Yeah, it's, some of the ferns down there are
Yeah,
over
yeah.
6 foot tall right
Yeah,
now.
they're
To me, the wild grass and everything that's growing ground growth wise, it's like a maze. I mean,
Yep.
you literally could have an 800 grizzly right next to you and not know it. I
Yep.
mean, it's
Yes.
that dense of ground growth, and that's what I think shocked me the most.
Hippie Explorer says it really gives you an idea of what it takes to go to town, and see, it
It
doesn't even
does.
explain it all.
No.
Mm.
That's what I'm going to try to do when going from town. I'm going to film the whole process, going into town, doing a little shopping, and then coming back with it all, because it's going to be a little bit longer of a video than a normal. I try to keep my videos under 15 minutes, but that one's going to be a longer one, but it'd be neat to watch.
And once Robert starts promoting it as like an Airbnb off grid, people need to understand that he really does mean it. Doesn't
It's-
mean that you're lacking any
it's
of the
remote.
luxuries of home. You just have to understand that this is a very remote area.
And if you run out of cream, you're not running down to the corner
No.
store.
Although
I'll be milking a moose. I don't know what you're talking about.
Good luck
once-
with that. I want to video that one.
I got coffee, damn it. I need.
once in a while, if we're not too demanding, the one of the women who works on the train will run to the store for us,
And grab stuff for us.
grab stuff if we really need it, and put it on the train and hand it off as they go
She's
by.
a saint.
Yep.
She's
She
an
Mary
an
is
absolute
amazing.
saint.
It's-
And the train is a lifeline for us.
Yep. And you know, usually when we have things delivered like that, they don't charge us. I
No,
always
they
offer a
don't.
ticket, and it's to a
But-
point now where they're just happy when I bring them down some fresh bread or some cinnamon
Right.
buns or something, some
Mhm.
kind of baked good.
Yep.
See here, JR says we should have good signal for about 30 minutes. Yay! Clint, question: do you all have a problem with spiders? Can't stand spiders. We have a lot of daddy long legs here.
The
There's
spiders-
There's poisonous spiders
bite.
here.
well, they're not, poisonous.
They're not poisonous.
Well,
There's a lot of them.
per volume, the granddaddy longleg is the most
That
poisonous spider in the planet, but it's just not enough to hurt us.
it doesn't have big
Um,
enough teeth or fangs.
Mm.
But I've seen a bunch of spiders in wood piles and in corners here, but nothing that is like Florida
No, nothing like
land crab walking by going, what the hell is that?
Yep.
That's a wolf spider.
Clint says that's
Yeah.
why we
Um,
watch channels like this, real life. And JR
Yeah.
says, yeah,
Mhm.
live Alaska is the real stuff. Yes.
Part of Alaska, you know, it's just don't get to see.
No.
Turn the laptop around.
Yep.
Mm.
Hippie Explorer. I had some friends just get back from Sokum Gold Camp in Alaska. They had a great time, and when they filmed some of the segment for an upcoming video. Which channel is that, Hippie? And I'm sorry, I cannot remember you guys' names for the life of me.
Is Hippie in Mass?
Yeah, they're in Mass. They do a lot of gold painting up in New Hampshire and stuff like that.
Yes.
Ask them if they ever ask them. I'm right here. You ever get to the Tom Brown survival training school, or do you know of it? Tom Brown Jr.
Let's see. Please show a video of John milking him, right?
That'll make America's funniest home videos. I don't think that.
Indeed, yeah.
It just
Or-
might make him go viral. You know,
It's either that or he's going to get the Darwin Award.
Right.
how did he get to 1 million subscribers overnight? The stupid Irishman from Florida milking a Alaskan moose, kissing him with a cup. Here, moosey, moosey, moosey.
Bill
spiders.
says lots of spiders. JR says daddy long legs eat skeeters. Yep.
We like them.
Bill says there are deadly spiders, but they come up on the cargo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Banana
die
boat
off
kind
water.
of deals. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, Phyllis says there are brown recluses here. I didn't know that.
Really? Ooh.
I'll have to look into that.
Ooh.
Hit me, Explorer.
Mm.
I know your name. Clint, wolf spiders are freaky. Why they can jump a long ways. Yeah, you should see the was it the one over in Saudi, the camel spider?
Oh, that's no joke. That is like an Alaskan king crab on sand. You just don't put 3 of those in somebody's sleeping bag and see what happens.
Yeah.
Just make sure you outrank them. That's all I suggest. But yeah,
Yeah. I have a big boot.
it's,
So that video is gonna be put on your channel, Hippie Explorer from Alaska. And tomorrow, depending on how no repetitive motion man over here feels, we're gonna go down to the creek and do a little bit of panning.
Mm.
he's teased me. He pre-set up the cabin. He's got like these. I sent him a panning kit, and he's got these little sniffer bottles stashed all over the cabin over there in the windowsill, so he knows I can see them. And he knows that I have a very addictive personality. If I find so much as one piece of color, I just might not go home. I'm just like, give me a couple more months and I'll buy whatever there is left around here and go visit Parker Snobble and Tony Beats and have a good time up there.
Yep. No, I had a gold pan from years ago. He get me a gold pan kit, and my sister got me a little micro
Gravity
sluice,
sluice.
little tiny sluice. Hey, Brian from the Vineyard Farmhouse, how are you doing?
If I find one piece of gold, I'm over. I'm done. I'm telling you. There's certain things I don't eat or drink just because I know I would fall into the trap.
Right. Hippie Explorer says Vermont has been showing good gold with recent floods. I bet it's getting all that stuff.
Oh,
that's
you're
been buried
exposing some
down.
bankside and some dark gravel and the cobble and quartz. It's unknown territory unless it was 1820.
Yep.
Wow.
Bill, I know someone that say a gold claim. That's quite okay.
Yeah.
I got
don't wanna
some
be
great
mining.
swampland in Florida for you too, there, buddy.
I've actually got the makings of a suction dredge up in the barn. I just need to get a
This
pump.
property has the makings of everything. It's stupid.
It does.
This-
How the hell did he get that up here? I don't know.
I've got a AMC V8 sitting in the barn. I've got a Wisconsin engine sitting over on the side of the house with a winch drum system that I don't think John and I could budge if we wanted
And
to.
it's welded to a steel
plate.
pallet, and
I don't know how ever that.
I don't
both
know.
four wheelers
even the
and both
pieces get it.
snowmobiles couldn't drag that thing out of there.
Right.
uh,
Matt says I panned and salted pork bags at Dredge 8 a lot. Does that count?
Hippie, have you been up to the Battenkill mining for gold?
Brian, the guy in the green is my best friend from back in Florida, John Hogan.
AKA Boomer. But nobody knows me as Boomer down there. That's a big
that's
New England thing for me.
mm.
Hippie Explorer, we do use Starlink for our internet up here, and because we don't have a lot of birds overhead, it can get sketchy on the signal. It goes in and out on a regular basis. Luckily tonight we've been okay. We only had to restart once.
And we have rain and clouds. So
Yeah,
that's,
Do we have rain and
It's sprinkling now.
we just Robert put together a mesh Wi-Fi system in the house, and we're getting better coverage throughout the property.
I just want to make sure we're still actually connected. It looks like we are.
Very good. I don't know why you have to look. It's got to be an Apple thing. Why do you got to look at your phone to find out if you're connected?
Because it'll lock up here. And if I look at the phone, I have it streaming on the phone so I can see if it's still moving. I learned that one a while ago.
Macintosh, oh my God.
Build me a computer. I shouldn't
what
have
do you
said
want?
that. I shouldn't have
What
said
do you
that.
want? It was,
He says
you
has.
don't ask me to do shit like that, dude. I'm sorry. Didn't think you were, but you don't ask me to do stuff like that.
Bill says, seriously, for John, my friend has a claim. No. his wife will kill you, me, and half of Alaska if he gets involved in something. Hippie Explorer says, do you see Starlink? Already said that one. Then he says, no, haven't been to Battenkill Mine. I've heard of it.
Oh, yeah, you definitely want to go anywhere on the Battenkill where they're fishing, especially if they had the floodwaters. I've seen what could be gold. I did a whole Little House on the Prairie episode one year when I was about 11 on the Whetstone Brook in Brattleboro and pulled out about a 5-gallon pail of pyrite out of the brook.
Oh,
My
boy.
grandfather told me to put it back. It wasn't gold. It was pyrite. And I asked him how he knew. And he said he did the same thing when he was a kid and put it back in the brook again. Leave it
Probably
for
the
another
same
generation to
culprit.
mine. What imagination you had when you were getting all this. You thought of big houses and land.
Dirt
and,
bikes.
and so I didn't stop you. It was just fun watching you imagine what you were going to be able to get while you were doing it.
Yep.
And it's exactly what happened. But the Battenkill does have, I've heard of good, not just flake gold, but good chunks coming out.
Yep.
You just got to fight all the trout fishermen. And they will fight back, trust me.
Yep. He says we've all had to put pyrite back in when starting, right? I've done it.
Yep.
Have you panned up Beard Brook in Hillsborough at all? By Gleason Falls. That's where I actually first started doing it. That was my grandfather's place over by Gleason Falls. He had a bakery right down there. It was actually called Gleason Falls Bakery.
On the south side of Mount Washington, there's a good waterway too that I've heard, but I haven't done it myself. After the pyrite incident, I was just heartbroken. Hell with it, I'll join the military and go to school for computers. I can get more gold out of a computer right now than I can get out of the ground.
Yes.
So
Yep. I sold all my computer parts at the estate sale when we came up here.
And she uses it for art though.
I do.
She
I
doesn't
didn't
take the
use
gold
much
out of it.
But
no, I got an entire computer put on a frame on my wall in my computer room that is functional, workable, but it's no case, open air case, but it's
Right.
literally screwed to my wall in the computer room.
Yep.
My wife goes, "What's that? Thermostat, don't touch it." Whatever works.
mine were in the drawers in my toolbox.
No, if I put computers in my drawers, my wife would question a lot
They were
of
just
things.
little bits. Little bits of this and little bits
Little
of
hard
that.
drives,
Hard
What
drives.
is that doing there?
motherboards.
And I didn't really hardly use the gold. I was going to make some books and use those as parts of the books, but
Yeah, Sarah makes some amazing things when she sits down to do stuff. She makes some amazing paper products out of homemade paper that are
Mhm.
amazing.
yeah. It was easy in Florida because I used banana leaves and they were very strong and good.
Yep.
But
We
here,
haven't found a medium for her yet,
not
but we're
quite.
thinking fireweed.
Yep, it may work because I have to get the pulp anyway because we make the jelly, and those little tiny flowers.
And I fit in great with Sarah up
Mix
here because
them.
we have close to the same artistic eye,
Yep.
which
Yeah.
means Robert has a lot more work to do.
Mhm.
And he's in the background. I'm coming up with ideas. He's like, "Shut up. Shut up. I got to get ready for winter. I'm
Right.
not going to make a giant mushroom garden out in the left side of the house out of the stump.
Fight them. Fight them.
It's okay.
I didn't even tell John that I wanted a chair out of a log, and he was just looking at the logs, and I now have a chair, and that's exactly what I had in mind.
What do you
I
want?
had a
It's
couple
amazing.
of missions in mind before I got here that I wanted to do.
Uh-huh.
And when he brought out that tool with the grinder
Oh,
saw on it,
boy.
I was just in heaven. What would
Mhm.
take me a week back home, I did
Oh,
it
yeah.
in 45 minutes?
Yeah.
I was like,
Zoo-
too much fun.
Yeah, Hippie Explorer says, I have a friend who owns a place on Beard River in Hillsborough. He says there's fine gold there. Yep. Yeah, I know because I found it when I was a kid.
My
Not a
wife
lot,
is
but
from
I
East
did.
Long Meadow.
I spent a lot of time walking up and down the brook there. Now that at the end of the road, there's a big Walmart now from where my grandfather used to live. Probably not even a paved road or a dirt road anymore. It's probably all paved.
The Hinsdale Dog Track in New Hampshire is now a Walmart.
Really?
Yeah, they tore down the dog track years ago. They moved the Walmart that was at the
Well,
bottom, the base of Rattlesnake Mountain, Mount Wontasket.
Right.
They built one there and moved it to the Greyhound dog track. They tore it all down.
Well, the dog track hadn't been used in a while, though.
20 years ago, it was
Yeah.
still in business when Angie and I moved to Florida. but
Right.
It's the only place in Hinsdale to get a good meal, actually.
Falcon Heavy is launching in 11 minutes. Don't you knock that over?
That's that's the one going out of Florida.
Florida, yeah.
Because you got sick of dealing with Texas rules and regulations.
What's matter is this?
And the
He's
FAA
hearing
is
the
now-
rain hit the ground over there.
Yeah. Oh, there's a tarp on the ground. So it's making a little picnicky.
They are putting the state's first casino with slots in Nashua at the old Pheasant Lane Mall.
Really?
The Pheasant Lane Mall's not there anymore.
What Indian tribe took over that mall to turn it into a casino?
JR says huge INET bird, 18,000 pounds. Woo.
Yeah.
I don't know what any of that means. I'm not a tech guy.
Hopefully it gets farther than stage 1 and all rockets go off this time.
Right.
But you're not going to have people in Florida complaining that they destroyed a rocket over the ocean.
Wow, that's crazy. When did they close down it as a mall? Because Pheasant Lane Mall was put in when we were young.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
The mall they need to get rid of is Holyoke Mall in Holyoke, Mass.
That and the one in Manchester. And one in Manchester was a kid and they kept adding to it. It was never a really good mall. The mall in New Hampshire, I think is what it was called.
Well, I think all malls in general are going away. I mean,
Yep.
Murdoch Circle, where we
Murdoch
live, is
Circle is-
gone.
Pretty gone.
Yeah, but I think that got wiped out by Ian.
Well, no, it was gone prior to that. COVID
Really?
shut everything down. The only thing, there were like 3 things running in that mall.
Really?
And one of them was Outdoor Warehouse that just had moved in a year or 2 ago.
Oh.
Restaurants on the other side are open, but other stores are closed.
What about the movie was open? The movie theater was open, Regal?
Don't know.
Wow.
Wow.
I
So-
think that once they lifted the ban, they were letting people in, but nobody really wanted to go because they spent 2 years on Netflix, YouTube,
Sure, you
Hulu,
can-
whatever. And
You can sit at home in
Yeah,
your pajamas.
nowadays, if a movie comes out
Sure.
new in theaters,
Sure.
less than a week later, it's on a paid per-view channel.
Yeah, that's why I'm waiting for the Indiana Jones to come out.
Mhm.
Let's see. JR says HughesNet satellite version 3, largest communication bird ever launched. C shall be when they launched from Vandenberg. I've watched it fly. Very awesome looking. I've watched them from
Wow.
Florida. I'd be out on a boat. And
I
watch 'em.
can be in my backyard and watch them take off.
Yep.
And if I want a close-up look, I just grab the binoculars or scope.
Yeah. Hit B Explorer. There will be still be shops, and the casino may help their business. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be
That's-
good. I
that's
mean, I
true.
remember going to that mall when I was young.
In
Yeah.
Florida, every other week there's a new shop that opens up that's got digital slots, and then they will make a law that makes it illegal. Then they will find a way to circumvent it. So it's like once a month, the shop's there, then it's not. The shop's there, then it's not.
Yeah.
But if you want to go to a real casino down there, you got to go to one of the Seminole casinos,
Mm.
Yeah.
Hard Rocks, Tampa,
Yeah, New York as
Orlando,
well.
or what's the one further south? I forget.
The drive-in before the Pheasant Lane Mall, or the one in Manchester, because there was one in Manchester a long time ago. Yeah, I remember the one down there by the Pheasant Lane. Is it gone now too, or is it still open? Matt says, "Wonder if the HughesNet will suffer the same fate as the Viasat one did." We'll find out in about 10 minutes.
Everything will. But
Man.
you just think all the Starlinks that are up there, when they're outdated, what's next? You just hits a button, they
Yeah.
come back to
Right.
water.
Matt says, or JR says to Matt, it is launched on the Falcon Heavy and not recovering first stage. 8 minutes to go.
Well, at least he doesn't have a Tesla Model S going up there, or the coupe again.
Right. Hit B Explorer. They took that down when they built the mall. Oh, the Tingsboro. Okay. The only X-rated driving in Mass.
Oh my.
Hurricane's going by.
Yep.
Can hear the train going by, and it's a mile
Yeah.
away, and I can hear it. I don't know if you guys probably can't hear it. I think it's just got sound deadening on certain things. Matt says the JR, yeah, the last big one, last big sat launched on FH was the Viasat America, and it was an issue with the antenna not fully extending. God, so if that went down when the mall was built, that's quite some time ago.
I was up in Vermont last year driving. We
Here's that.
flew into Connecticut, drove through Mass, and I just couldn't believe the change. I mean, maybe it's just time or what have you, but Vermont stopped salting the roads and went to sand, and the amount of growth along the highway was just insanely better, denser, and made the entire town look smaller.
I gotta see if that means signing up. Sit down for a minute, John.
Gladly.
Yep.
Old fat Floridian now, I guess. Can't even call myself a Vermonter.
Yeah, Zeus loves the train too.
I left the movie screen there as a billboard. I think it's still there.
We don't want.
Vermont's had a law on I-91 since I can remember that no billboards were allowed to be seen from the highway.
That's a good law. I like that.
What's that?
Vermont's
No.
law on I-91 about highway billboards,
Highway
none
billboards.
allowed. It's been there since I was a kid that I can remember, but
The billboard, yeah, he saw what he said. Yeah.
Yeah, good.
yeah, actually, when I drove up into it from, we flew into Connecticut, I think, drove through Mass, into Vermont, exit 1, I-91, exit 1, 2, and 3 is my hometown, Brattleboro, and it just looked different. It was just so grown up woods-wise.
That Hippie Explorer says that's a good law. These new digital billboards are distracting. Yeah, they are.
And that was Vermont's big issue. They wanted foliage season is almost as big as snow season up there in Vermont, and
Right.
we call them leaf peepers, and they come in from everywhere, and it's a big boost to businesses in Vermont, all up and down I-91. And if they can see the foliage better from the highway, they're more likely to stop in the town and spend money. So they have billboards and blink, blink, blinkety blink going on. They didn't
No way.
wanted more foliage season, but just the health of the woods that I saw was crazy.
Yep.
There used to be one sign you could see on exit 1 that was the factory outlet center, and you could barely see it from the highway, so they allowed it, and because it'd been there so long, you can't even see it from the road. I could see my high school from I-91 coming down the hill. I couldn't even see the high school when I went in last time for my daughter's wedding,
Trees.
and it was weird. I was like, this is not the exit I thought it was. No, it's exit 1. Okay.
Wow.
So I was just checking, make sure I posted a link on the Facebook.
Yeah, Matt, the SpaceX Heavy, when they launched it out of Texas, it was working bugs out in the air, but like 5 seconds in the flight, we could see the X amount of motors go out. The next 2 that are going up are still prototypes. He actually had 2 other rockets built. The first one he tried. This one has less motors, but they're larger. I don't know if you've read that or looked into it, but he's trying to narrow down a reusable rocket system that's reliable.
Yeah, that's what, for the first stage or second stage?
Both. He went with fewer motors, fewer rockets, and larger. The first one that they did in Texas had, I forget how many, it's like 30 something.
Oh, wow.
And now they're like down to 12 on the first stage and I think 9 on the second, but they're much larger.
Huh.
Hippie Bee Explorer. Yeah, it is what Vermont did 10 years ago with the salt and sand changeover. People were complaining that they're still slipping and sliding all over the place, but you see the next spring difference. I mean, salt on roads in Vermont and it thaws is nothing but saline solution, which is basically Roundup without the other harsher chemicals. So you're still killing everything amongst the roads and highways. Now you get rid of that and use sand. The tree growth that I noticed in the time that I was away was night and day difference. Night and day difference.
Yeah, they're going into Chase.
Yeah, I watched the Starship test launch. It was it was
Crossing.
epic. I mean, I thought it was funny that you saw so many people cheering when it blew up. They're like, "No, you don't understand. We successfully didn't blow up the pad. That's all we wanted is to make sure it would get up in the air, and if it didn't destroy the pad, we're happy." The average person seeing $10 million go up in smoke would be upset about it at a hell of a fireworks show.
Matt says, yeah,
Yeah,
they were happy
it got off the
they got
ground.
off the ground.
Anything after the launch pad was like cherry on top. It was, they didn't care.
Hippie Explorer, they put something on the roads around my house last winter and it killed all the shrubs next to the road all over town. People were not happy.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
I didn't think they'll do that again.
Massachusetts adopted a defoliage ordinance where the county was allowed to do it to help prevent against certain washout areas, which doesn't make sense to me. Being an arborist, if you get rid of the root you're creating, if they stop that, you'd see a totally. Let's stop making Roundup by putting salt in the roads and start and another alternative to get the ice and slush off the road. How about you use your plow trucks every once in a while? How about that? I lived in Framingham, and Hudson, so I know what the roads are like there.
I don't know what they use here. Sand here. Bill, you'd be able to answer that one. Are they using sand and salt or sand?
Studded snow tires. Have a
That's
good
what I
day.
use.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And now they put a tax on that. If you get every time you put a studded tire on, it's $75 road fees because it tears the roads up. No, what's tearing the roads up is 18 wheels with 3 trailers behind them. You know,
I remember getting fined, or people getting fined. I never got fined. Never happened to me. But people getting fined having their snow tires on too late in the season.
There are
Here,
rules
too.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you can put them on. I think mid-September for because the people like us that live out here, but we have to have them off by beginning of May.
Going down the road and you see sparks flying out and go, okay.
Bill says he used sand and small gravel. All right, Hippie Explorer. It was good seeing you here.
Nice chatting with you, Hippie Explorer.
And
I'll
as
be in
always,
Vermont next week.
yeah. And I'll get over to your channel and watch some of your stuff here soon again. Like I said, I've been slacking from last week with John up here.
Get with Robert.
some
Send him your address. I'll send you up some orange blossom honey. Tell me what you think of it. Peak snow rating.
JR says 5 million pounds of thrust is pretty massive. Yeah.
Yeah, you think?
Can we put that on a car?
I think that's about what I used the other day making a chair.
Yeah.
If you added it all up, you know.
Matt says I'm going to risk it with my what's up there?
Cooper AT tires and 3 peak snow rating and some chains this winter.
Yeah, you should be all right. I know a lot of people that just use snow tires up here.
Just buy a Subaru, be done with it.
I just went with the studded because I haven't driven in ice in years, and that's how it is here, especially if you go into Anchorage.
Yeah.
I think one of the snowiest states in the country, they'd have really good plow systems, and Anchorage is horrible.
Yeah. They had closed everything for days.
That's going to have to be my next trip up here is the wintertime.
You have to come in winter.
I bet you the trails are much easier on the snowmobile than
God.
they are on the
There is
four-wheeler.
no comparison.
Well, if Mac was on here, he'd tell you.
Yeah.
I went from the track to the house and back because I forgot his ticket because I got his ticket for him, and I made it to the track from the tracks to here and back in 3 minutes, and I had that thing going pretty damn quick.
It's
So it's like
smooth.
Matt says, and like 2,000 pounds of sandbags, and the Tundra has light rear end. Yeah, it does.
Mm.
Robert doesn't even care going down the trails anymore. He's so accustomed to it and become acclimated. I want to stop every 5 feet and look around and see what I can see. But he's seen it so many times. It's like, whatever to him. To me, it's like, oh, there's something over there. Did I see something over there? Oh, what's over there? I don't know the area like he does because I haven't been up here 2 years. I've been up here 2 weeks.
And my head's on a swivel going back and forth as I'm going
Mhm.
down the trail looking for critters because I have had a moose step out in front of me and lock up the brakes. That was our first fall here. I was by a big what is that? Cottonwood that had been felled from a storm
Mm.
years and years ago, and the log's still laying there. It's about 4 or 5 foot high, and there was a moose sitting down behind it, and he heard the wheeler and he stood up, and he had a big rack on him. He kind of walks up, and I get behind the wheeler and I pull out my pistol, and he goes, "Meh." I look at him and said, "Dude, you need to grow some you-know-whats because you don't sound very healthy." And he just looked at me and trotted away, but I thought he was going to charge the wheeler at first, and I'm like, I ain't playing with you.
Come back around again after you hit puberty.
Bill says, I just had a moose steak from a roadkill moose by my neighbor got.
Oh, wow.
Nice. We can't get on the roadkill list because there's only one family out here. We have to have 2 families out here to get the moose kill. Jared says, I can remember getting up at 3 to 4 a.m. to watch the Mercury 7 launches. Yep.
Mm.
Baby's being a baby.
Come
Here,
on.
Robert, sit down.
What do you got? Somebody got something for me? Somebody got something for me? I've been inside being good. Somebody's got to have treats. Huh? What? Uh-oh.
Oh, Zuby.
Arr, arr. He's in a playful mood.
Yes.
And Ed didn't realize it is 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
Yep.
You need to take your meds.
I need to take my meds.
And we're going to end this here real quick. Where's my dinner? So we're going to head out. Going to make some dinner. And Sarah and I will see you guys next Friday as always. And unfortunately, John won't be here.
No,
But-
I'll be watching it live from Florida. No,
No,
Vermont.
you'll be in Vermont.
Wow.
Yeah.
If they have Wi-Fi and a road to get to the place I'm going.
Right.
Stay tuned for John Hogan moosing a moose, milking a moose.
This time.
Oh, boy.
No,
And Matt, dang, it means I have to start packing again. Dude, you're supposed to be leaving tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we will see you all next week. And as always, I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much to
Absolutely.
my moderators, JR, Bill at Alaska Last Frontier Homestead. And I think Phyllis, oh, there's Phyllis.
There's
I don't know if Adam's there or not. Adam ever made it over to Bill's yet or not. He might still be working. I don't know.
Adam and Phyllis, I will be back.
But it was
We'll
good.
get some maple syrup.
Yep. It was good seeing you guys. Seashell, Ashley, Matt, Ollie is as always, it's a pleasure to
Nice.
have you guys here to share a little bit of time with us. Keep an eye out. There'll be some videos coming out again. I'm going to try to start putting them out a little bit quicker. I'm going to try different nights. My little program I have tells me everybody seems to watch more of my videos on a Tuesday. So I might try to start dropping them on a Tuesday.
Mhm.
So we'll see. I just got to get a couple more edited out so I can have a stack of them ready to go for release. So anyways, y'all have a great night. Matt, drive safely when you leave. I'll give you an email if you need somebody to chat to while you're driving. Don't be afraid to give me a holler.
Mhm.
So I'll send you my phone number later. You guys have a great night.
Yes.
It was good seeing you all, and we'll see you next time. Take care.
Pleasure.
Bye.